Have you ever started a new healthy routine, maybe like walking more or eating better or trying to get to bed earlier, only to feel like your motivation basically evaporates in about 2 weeks? I swear, it's like clockwork. The excitement fades, we get busy, we suddenly are thinking, oh yeah, shoot, I'm not doing that anymore. Dang it, I totally forgot to do that the last few weeks. Oh, why am I not being consistent? What is wrong? Well, there is nothing wrong with you. What is wrong is the way you've been taught to build habits. And so today, I'm going to teach you the real way, the way that works for women over 40, when consistency is truly the key to hormone balance, longevity, and just feeling like yourself again. Hi, I'm Natalie Up, a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. I help women in peri to postmenopause go from frustrated with their changing bodies to confident and energized so that they can finally feel like themselves again. If you've been feeling stuck or overwhelmed or just not like your usual self, you're definitely in the right place. So do me a quick favor and subscribe if you're not already, and let's learn 12 tips on how to make healthy lifestyle routines stick. As Gen Xers, we grew up on diet culture thinking. If your health was, or maybe still is, defined by drinking Diet Coke, surviving on 1,200 calories, running on fat-free bars, eating several snacks throughout the day versus real meals, maybe trying to earn your food with exercise, or just trying to be skinny. Oh gosh, I hate that word. You're not alone. But here's the truth. This is the time for our generation to shift gears. Statistics show that women in the US now live to an average age of 81. That's 10 years longer than when our parents were born. And actually, do you know what the leading cause of death is for women? It's not breast cancer, it's heart disease. A disease that's 80%, you guys, preventable with lifestyle habits. So the outdated diet rules that we were raised on don't support the habits required for longevity, hormone health, and building strong bodies that are going to let us stay independent well into our 70s and 80s. And if there's one thing about us Gen Xers, we are an independent generation, you guys. Come on, right? We are not slowing down just because we're aging. But here's the challenge. Most women in midlife struggle with consistency. We get really excited, we start strong for about 2 weeks, and then life hits. Hormones shift, stress piles on, motivation goes bye-bye, and the routines fall apart. And that's not because we're failures, of course, or disciplined enough for that matter. It's because we were never taught how to actually put habits into play and how they work. We need to get away from the diet culture, right? There's a published study in European Journal of Social Psychology that is all about building new habits. The researchers found that it takes an average of 66 days, not 21, to make a behavior feel automatic. And some people took even over 200 days. Why? Because consistency is built on repetition over time, not on motivation and willpower. Motivation fades and goes away, but systems keep you going. So let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, know your why and challenge your old beliefs. Consistency starts with understanding why you want to change and questioning the beliefs that may be holding you back and probably are holding you back. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not disciplined, or I always fall off, or I've always been like this, and I've always been overweight, or I'm not gonna look as good as Susie Q because she has more time. You know you're guilty of some of these. You're programming your brain to repeat those patterns and beliefs that you're telling yourselves. Thankfully, beliefs are just stories we tell ourselves. So time to rewrite your stories by following my next tip. Tip number 2, build a new identity. Atomic Habits author James Clear said, true behavior change is identity change. And most of our goals are built around outcomes, like I want to lose 10 pounds. However, when they seem too far out of reach, this is when we usually give up. So I want you to try this instead. Build your goals around your identity you want to become. So instead of saying, I want to walk more, say, I'm becoming the kind of woman that wants to move her body every day. Instead of, I want to eat healthier, say, I'm someone who wants to eat foods that fuel my body for my hormones and to have more energy. Instead of, I want to look more toned, say, I'm a person who wants to avoid losing my balance and breaking a bone as I age. So I care about strengthening my bones and muscles. You see, identity is what drives action. Action creates routines, and then routines create all the results. So when you become the woman who is taking care of herself, the habits actually follow when you do them over time. And remember, that could be up to 200 days. Let me know in the comments what your new identity statement could be around a goal that you're thinking about. Tip number 3, use tiny buildable habits instead of big overhauls. One of the biggest reasons women quit new routines is because they start off with this big gung-ho, new year, new me energy. And it just doesn't last. That truly is, there's really no perfect time of year to implement a new change, because any time of year is the perfect time to start. You could start on a Wednesday, you could start still on a Monday. There's any time is a good time to start. You just have to start. The science of habit formation says the trick, though, is staying small or even tiny. Big habits burn out, and so instead of saying, I'm gonna work out for an hour every day now, try to say, I'm going to work out for 10 minutes. Seems easy enough, right? Or even, I'm going to put on my workout clothes and do 3 sets of one body exercise. I do this still to this day. Just when I feel like I don't have the time, I just do one exercise 3 times. It's not a big deal. The wins create momentum, though, and momentum creates consistency. And consistency, remember, is that key, because that's what gets you results. Tip 4, stack your new tiny habits with your current ones. Healthy lifestyle routines stick when you attach them to something you're already doing. This is called habit stacking, and it works seamlessly, especially when your new habits are small. Let me give you some examples. When I brush my teeth, I'm going to practice standing on one leg to improve my balance. And yes, I do this at night. After I pour my morning coffee, let's say, I drink 8 ounces of water. After I sit at my desk in the morning to go to work, I take 3 deep breaths to lower my cortisol. Another great one, when I get a phone call, instead of sitting at my desk, I stand up and walk around while I'm talking. We already have dozens of habits that we can do this with every single day. I recently added one that, here's kind of a different one, but I wanted to incorporate some mobility movements. So now every time I let my dog out to potty throughout the day as I work from home, as soon as I let him out the door, I just go into some mobility movements while waiting for him to come back inside. But letting him out is my trigger to start the new habit. Does that make sense? And this is how you build habits and consistency and really make them effortless. It makes it easy, obvious, and repeatable because you're already doing these things every day. Tip 5 is make your environment work for you. We want those small habits to stick, right? Well, let's talk about the environment where we're trying to get those wins. So here's the truth that I've talked about a couple times already. Relying on willpower is a losing battle because sometimes our surroundings are a little stronger than we are. So how do you take back control? It's simple. You remove the negative triggers and add the positive cues that make consistent habits easier. For example, if you have chips in your cabinet, that might turn into mindless snacking. Just stop buying them. That's an easy one. If scrolling on your phone late at night is stealing your sleep, Plug your phone in across the room. Make it harder for you to be near your phone. If you forget to take your vitamins in the morning, put them in your coffee mug. I have mine right inside my cabinet, right by my glasses, because I get green tea out every single day. That's a habit I already have. You want your environment to support you. Your environment should be a cheerleader, really, for the women that you're trying to evolve into, not getting yourself into a trap of old habits that you're trying to leave behind. Tip number 6 is don't stop it, swap it. So what I mean by that is habits are easier to stick with when you just replace an old behavior with a better one instead of just cutting it out completely. If you feel like you have to stop eating all the things that you're accustomed to and love, that change might be too drastic, and one of the reasons why it might not stick. So I'm just going to give you one example for this. So instead of, let's say, maybe you love sandwiches, okay? And I'm not saying eat sandwiches every day, but when you do have a sandwich, instead of your typical Sara Lee bread, swap it out for a more anti-inflammatory and high fiber option like base culture or carbonate. Those are much better. They might, bread like that is going to cost a little bit more up front but in the long run, it's gonna save you maybe money on medical bills, okay? So I know that sounds dramatic, but it's really true. Just doing little swaps like this will really add up. It's the same meal, but better nutrition and a minimal effort swap, really. Start reading those labels, and if your paragraph looks like this, try to choose the same type of item with a paragraph that looks like this instead. Tip number 7 is I want you to reward your consistency, not just the outcomes. We often reward ourselves when we lose the weight, we finish a challenge or we hit some special goal. But outcomes is not what build habits. The repetition is, and the consistency that we've been talking about. I want you to track your effort, celebrate your streaks, and give yourself credit for just showing up. That's what builds habits and really what is going to help your confidence grow to make the habit stick. The 8th habit is something I talk about all the time. Avoid all or nothing thinking. All or nothing thinking destroys our consistency. Healthy routine should feel flexible, not restrictive. So here's some examples. Let's say you didn't have time for a full workout. Do you just not work out? Of course not. You do 1 upper body exercise and 1 lower body exercise. 4 sets of each, and call that a win because you did something. Maybe you want comfort food. Do you just go and get fast food? No. Maybe you're still your grilled chicken and your asparagus or broccoli, but you still add those mashed potatoes because it helps with your follow through of the other things. Doing something keeps your new identity alive. Doing nothing is what resets a habit. Tip number 9 is another thing I learned from James Clear. Never miss twice rule. In Atomic Habits, Clear writes, missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. That's kind of what I was talking about in that last habit. Be flexible with yourself for missing a workout or maybe not eating exactly what your body needs one day here and there. We know life happens and there's no such thing as perfection, trust me. Aim to not miss twice though. The next day, remind yourself of your new identity statement. Maybe that's, I value feeling my best as I age. So I prioritize my healthy habits. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent for weeks and for months. Just keep it going and don't quit. Tip number 10, I want you to track your behavior and build accountability. Consistency strives on data and support. You can track your sleep, your steps, number of workouts, your fiber intake, your protein grams, your water ounces, your deep breathing sessions, and more. Use a visual tracker such as putting check marks on a paper calendar. You can use habit apps. You can do a check-in message with an accountability buddy. Or you could use a coach like me to do that. I would love to be your accountability buddy. I want you to start with a habit that is fairly easy for you, but you're still not consistent with it yet to start tracking. You know, I want you to find that early success and go from there. And before you say, I don't have time for tracking, what you track will improve. So remember that. Tip number 11 might surprise you. Keep your new habits quiet at first. This is a secret weapon really most people never really talk about. Studies show though that when we share new goals too early, our brain gets a premature dopamine hit, and which is a reward in our brain, as if we already did the thing. So in the beginning, just quietly stack your wins alongside checking in with your accountability buddy or coach, and let the behavior and actions, not the announcement to your friends like, oh, I'm getting in shape, I'm starting Monday, I'm gonna start working out again. Let the behavior shape your identity. And when the momentum builds, you won't need to tell the people because they're gonna notice. If you're still with me, thank you. We've made it to tip number 12. Pursue longevity, not diets, and aim for 1% better every day. I cringe when I see programs promising things like lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Oh gosh, it just drives me nuts. They are not practical, sustainable, or supportive of your long-term health. Preparing your body to age well and support your changing hormones does take time. Nobody becomes consistent overnight, and consistency is what actually moves the needle. Let's think about running. You wouldn't expect to go from 0 to marathon ready in a month. You'd say, that's not realistic. You have to build endurance. We all know that, right? Well, habits work the same way. Consistency is your endurance. It grows through repetition, not extremes. So focus on being just 1% better. Remember, tiny things. 1% better today, and then 1% better tomorrow. See? Those healthy routines will start to stick and grow. That's how you build longevity, and that's how you finally feel like yourself again in this crazy stage called midlife. So, if you thought that this video helped you rethink how to build healthy routines, go ahead and smash that like button, please. It helps more women like you find this kind of support and free information, and I'd really appreciate it. Tell me in the comments, what tiny habit do you think that you're gonna start this week? Or maybe tell me what topic you want me to cover in order to help you create that sustainable lifestyle during peri to postmenopause. Just leave it in the comments below, and I respond to every single comment I see. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe or share this video with a friend. I bet you know somebody that could benefit from it. Well, looks like it's time to go. Hope you're feeling fired up. Bye.